Okay, so this is our second edition of the 2024 season of Business BC Open Discussion. And as the release happened recently, we'll surely be talking about the release. And hey, Jyotsna, I saw your email. Sorry for the delay. I'll reply on it after this
Hello.
meeting, most probably.
No worries, no worries. Hello,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you.
Okay. So I hope the screen is visible. And
Yes.
let's get into it. I was able to kind of extract some details from the launch event and then watch some videos around it. So we'll talk about this, some of these changes, whatever possible today. So there was a lot of buzz around file upload. So till this version 23, wherever you have an option to upload files, and let me see if I can see it here. When you get into here and you choose attach file, this window was only allowing you to select one or two files from your system, right? One file to be very specific. Microsoft did a little bit of change into this screen where you can now select multiple files from your system, or you can even drag multiple files into it. So let me see if I can find a bunch of files somewhere. Okay, this is our BC24. And I was doing something on the sales one. So let me see, I might have extracted that. Okay. So there are some files and let's try to drag multiple files into it and see what happens. So this time I dragged 4 files and nothing seems to be happening. Okay. Okay. That's weird that they did not
Private
update it.
Word file or Excel file.
No, so with one, sir, it seems to be working. Okay. But where I'm selecting multiple, and let's try it again,
But this
it's
is
not
not
working.
the place where it's work. Can you go back on the customer card?
Let's go
There's
into
a
the customer
separate,
card.
on the list, the details tab.
Details tab.
But there was something over here. If you can see it on the customer card,
Let's see.
the functionalities.
Attachment, links and notes and detail, just a picture. Okay.
Maybe.
But I never checked on this. So sorry for that. I didn't knew that they did not make that enhancement here. But there is a code segment that you can write. So first, let's try to see how, if you have a situation where you would like to do that, how you do it. And as we are on customer card, let's try doing it on customer card. So let's create a page extension. And if it is not visible, I'll zoom this in. And let's do customer card. So to achieve this, what they have done that under actions, you can now create a new type of action. And I surely will have to decide the position where I want to place it. So let's place it after the customer. Yeah, at the end of the customer. Now in here, I can now do a file upload action. So earlier, there was an option of action, which is a typical BC action, a custom action, which is relevant to the action that you do for Power Automate, okay, or Dataverse actions. And the new one is for file upload. So now you can write a new action type of file upload, and the sequence that it follows the same. Let's say I call it as upload files, and then it follows the same properties. There are a little bit differences in some properties. So like there will be in caption. Okay. Okay, let's try that. Upload multiple files. And then image and others are same. Other than that, there are new properties added. One is for allow multiple files. So by default, if you create it, it will still support one file upload. If you want it to support multiple files, then you have to do and allow multiple files to be true. And then there is one more with allow, which is allow file extension. I don't think it's mandatory, but if you would like to limit what kind of files you need, then you can use this, and then you can define to limit user to kind of not make mistakes. So let's say .al and let's say .txt and let's say .csv, whatever makes sense. This will limit the search window to only select file of this type. I think the limitation, and I'm just assuming it, is based on the service tier. So on the service tier, there is a, let's open Business Central 14 administration. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure the property still exists, but I cannot. So let's open the file. Open file from C, program files, Microsoft Business Central 140 service custom settings.config. Okay. So there was a property called prohibited. Oh, they removed it. Nice. But there was a property, at least in the NAV word, where you can limit which type of files are prohibited to be imported. If that property is removed, that's great. It surely was there in NAV, but it's good that they have removed it. But these properties will help user to narrow down the search when they are trying to select the files or select the folders, because as far as I read the documentation, it will also allow you to drag a folder into it. Now it works in the same way. You do a trigger and then there is a new trigger for this, which is on action, remains as it is. But because it is on the file upload action, it doesn't work as it is. There is a different signature for it, which is with the files of list of file upload. So Microsoft is utilizing the list, and then there is a new data type called file upload, which will allow you to upload multiple files. So this becomes the new signature of an action, which is of type file upload. Any questions till this point? Now, at this point, because it's a list which will contain more than one item or even one item, you can surely use the .NET pair, which is the for each, and then use the file upload. Okay, files. Oh, but you'll have to create a reference of it. So let's do a reference of file upload of type new data type called file upload. So what you're saying, for each file upload in the files, because they both are of the same data type, they're just trying to read each file at one time, and that's where you're using the for each, and then you do a begin and end as usual. So what you're saying right now is scan all the files that are available in this, not array, but a typical array or a list. And then for each file that you find, put that file into this. And then based on this, I'll do certain actions. Let's see what actions are available inside this. So using this, we can do a create in a stream. So I can put the content of it into an in a stream. Once it is in a stream, then you can do anything about it. You can place it on a blob, you can store it somewhere, wherever you want in your database. So that's the first thing that's available, which is in a stream. And the parameter to create in a stream enforces you to define encoding, which is a little bit strange, because what type of encoding is available for the image files or JPEGs? Any thoughts? Because I understand that encoding works with the text file. So when I do create in a stream, can I just live with a file in a stream? No, it enforces you to use the encoding. Now that's a little bit confusing because if I choose encoding, which is my text encoding, I have only these options. Will it ever support PDFs, JPGs, and other files?
Don't know yet.
Yeah, because as far as I remember, and this is me, old me saying, I have seen these options either in data ports or XML ports, which majorly deals with text files or CSV files.
Let's use Windows or UTF-8. Let's see what it does.
Which one? Windows?
Windows, yeah.
Let's do
Well, it's not
Windows
a
and then
text.
yeah, and then let's change this to be JPEG and see what happens. Okay. And it'll come into any stream, and then also with the file upload, I have one more, and let's test that out, is the file name. So it'll return me the file name as anything. So I can just do a message if needed for the file name. I guess it'll work as it is. Does it? Yeah. No, sorry. Now where should I upload it? Because we need to verify that is it getting imported. Should I customer, can I do image how Microsoft does images? There is a fact box called customer picture, I guess. Yeah. So in the customer picture, whatever you see on your customer card where you see the image, this is what it's referring to. And then we are trying to import the picture. What it does is, let's overwrite it for a while and upload file. And it is all using the file management, which is weird. But I can import file with the file name and the client file name.
We can
How
always
you
just check
do
if their content
with the
is
media?
there and just give a message if it has got
Okay,
value.
okay. On the streams?
Yeah.
Okay. If file in stream dot what length?
But the example which you were seeing comes up, there was a message that
Oh, so this
uh,
this is for if there is already an image associated with that customer or item, whatever you're using, then it just
okay.
confirms that is there
Sorry.
a value or not. And this is what media, right? Rec
Yeah,
dot image
media.
dot media.
Yeah.
Can I do media directly? Import into customer picture, and that's okay. Rec dot image dot import file. Import file seems to have a import stream. Okay, let's try that. I've never written this, so forgive me if I'm doing something wrong. It needs an in stream, which we have. So let's do that. And then it needs a description, let's say blank. And then it needs the third parameter as MIME type, which is optional, so I can leave it. So let's leave it. Okay. So hopefully if I select multiple images, my last image should be stored if I do a, let's see, do it after this, right? Dot modify. And this is the extension, hopefully, for all the images that I'm taking on my system. So let me just quickly check. These all are JPG. Okay. So let's do a .jpg. Okay. So now what we have done, we have utilized an action of upload action, and we have added it to the last. I also will have to do the prompt one, otherwise it will be kind of lost. Promoted one, sorry. So let's do pick a category. Let's pick 9, and then just add an action ref. Action ref. and the action rep becomes upload file, promoted. Oh, my action ref file. Okay. Now this will be visible. Anything I'm missing? Oh, habit of using extensions, so forgot the application area. So now we have defined where it will be in the category 9. It will be promoted and it will be called upload multiple files. Hopefully we are good. Let's test this out. Okay. And maybe 101 is already utilized and I'll get an error message, hopefully. Okay. Yes. Oh, yeah. I knew it'll cause problem. Okay. So let's publish this now. Change it to 102. Hopefully that passes it. And we are able to see page. Okay. Now, where are those scenarios? Like, okay, so if you have a customization where you are trying to attach multiple files into a record, which is very common scenario for a customer, then you'll be able to utilize this now going forward so that they don't have to select each file every time. They can just drag all their files into it. And there are some control add-ins available where you can just drag it. You don't have to pop up this window, hopefully. Okay, where is that? Okay, upload multiple files. Let's click on this and let's choose it this time from desktop. Okay. And let me pick this. These all are my JPJs. And as you can see, here is already a filter applied for custom files. And I can now click open. Okay, it shows the progress bar. That's nice. And it'll start showing me the names of all the files that I have uploaded. Let's come here. And yes, it did pick the last file and uploaded it here. So going forward, if anytime you have a need where customer want to upload multiple files by just dragging them in here, and I'm for sure that the dragging will also work, but let's just verify that if it works or not. So I'll just keep it as it is, and I'll again start dragging some files from here. Let's see these three, upload it here and start showing me the name. It did updated my customer picture that you're trying. I didn't knew that was that simple, but it seems that simple now. So if you, this seems an optional parameter. If you skip it, it'll allow you to pick any file. And the text encoding doesn't seem to make much difference over it. What if I set it to something else? Will it limit me? I doubt. Anyone else know about text encoding? I guess I was completely wrong into it. Okay. So have you built a solution where the old dialog box was a problem in the past, which will kind of be solved with this issue? I'm just again trying to understand the use case for this. I know the use case, but was that a real problem? I surely have heard it. Okay. That's the same thing. Nothing changes. So I don't think it's related to what you can import and what you cannot. It's just some kind of encoding that I might have to read about. Any questions on this at this moment around the multiple file upload using the custom action that you can create on any page at this moment? Okay, if there are none,
No,
let's
but maybe I
go
have
ahead,
something related to this text
please.
encoding.
Yes,
So
please.
I'm not sure how it, I don't see how it's helpful or changes when it comes to file, but I have faced an issue in the past wherein I was trying to do base 64. And that time when I did not add the proper text encoding, it did not take it. But yeah, I don't know what's the implementation of that, if Microsoft has some restriction in the background. But I've had this issue with base 64 when I was trying to encode and decode the values. Then this text encoding mattered. But for file upload, yeah, I'm not really sure if it's making any difference, honestly.
Yeah, so I was searching for it and I've never kind of utilized it till now. But as per Microsoft documentation specifies the text encoding format to use when using an XML port to export and import data as text. And in your scenario where you were kind of trying to convert it to base 64, then yes, because it's a text, the base 64 is a text. I guess this property then becomes relevant. But I was just a little bit confused about using it during the upload action because
Yes, exactly.
may
Because
not be importing CSV or text file all the time, right?
yeah, that's what, because as I said, like for base 64, I faced this error, but for file upload, I don't think it really matters, or maybe they just wanted to use the same functionality as they had in the background. But yeah, for upload, yeah, I don't know if it should really matter because it's not making any difference. Like
Yeah,
as I said, maybe they just wanted to use the same function. Don't know.
hopefully. Okay, moving to the next one, which is app.json. Now, this surely had been a huge demand of this that, oh, all these years, the Business Central uh, app.jsons will not allow me to add comments. And there are situations where you would like to add comments. But for all these years, the app.json comments were not permitted. Now, there can be different reasons of why you want a comment, but I guess that was an idea submitted to Microsoft, and they kind of solve it with a small workaround. So, what you have to do is if you have to start adding comments into your app.json files, you open that file, come into your ribbon down here, and then choose the language model. Once you do that, just start typing JSON, and you will see that there is a new option added called JSON with comments, which is JSON C. Just have to change this, and then you can now, going forward, add comments if needed into your file. So let's say I can add it here. This range is for PD, ABC, whatever as you want. So now, if required for any reason, if you think that you will need to add comments into your app.json, just make sure to come here and change your language model from default JSON to JSON with comments, and then you'll be able to add those comments into it. It might be around dependencies, that why I added this dependency, I would like to add comments, or any other thing that you need. You'll be able to use the JSON with comments going forward. Any issue with that? Okay. Now there's a lot of buzz, and I just wanted to make sure that we didn't cover it. Did we cover the Excel layout in the last meeting that we had, or we did not?
No, we did not.
Okay. So Microsoft did announce the Excel layout for, I guess, almost a year now. And I guess they were seeing a little lack of passion using Excel layouts. And I think it was a game changer from a perspective of how your users then can work on the flat data set that you can bring into it. Now, what Microsoft have done, we all know for the Excel layout to begin with, they introduced a page in the previous releases called report layouts. This will be going forward the only one-stop solution for all your layouts. All these pages will somehow be deprecated and move. All these layouts will come in this one single area called report layout. In the report layouts, you see all the layouts that you have for each report. As we know, now you can have multiple layouts per report. So either it is coming from a Microsoft extension or from an ISV extension or from your PTE extension, or if user have created it, all those will be visible in one single area, which is this page called report layouts. You can see what type of layout it is. It can be RDLC, it can be Word. You can filter out this list. You can see how many have user created layouts are there in this page or in this environment, and how many are coming from different extensions. So far, so good. Now, if a user says, I would like to create a layout, they can still do it as they were doing from 5 different pages in the past. Let's see if there are any user defined in this one. I don't think so. And then here is what coming from extension, which is everything at this moment. User can now, let's say if they want to create a layout on this, can always do a new and create a layout just by giving a name and choosing what kind of layout it is. Don't ask about external right now because it's still unknown. The three common options that we know is RDLC, Word, were the previous option, and Excel was something that was added a year ago approximately. What Excel gives you flexibility is when you create this and you hit OK, it'll surely add a line. Oh, it is not. It is asking you for an Excel file, which I don't have, so I'll have to cancel it. But the whole idea of Excel layout, and before I go into deep into it, let's talk about it. How many of us know how Excel layout work or how you develop them? Sandeep sir, no. Anyone else?
No, I haven't used it yet.
Okay. So then let's talk about it. So there's this report, customer list report. Okay. When you want to build an Excel layout for it, you surely run the report. And then while you are running this report, you first time you do it, send it to an Excel with data only, which is your data set that's coming for this report. Once it gets downloaded, which should happen now, okay, you just normally open that file as it is. The only rule for Excel layout is you never change whatever tabs are here. You can add new tabs, but you should not be modifying any existing tab that's there. You can utilize all these tabs into your design. So just to kind of make it a little bit simpler, I'm using all this data set. So the whole data set is actually comes with a name. So when you look up here, you will see that there is a name. And did I not enable it? Let me see. I should have. Oh no, it doesn't seem I have enabled it. So let me open it again. Okay. And how you enable it? Oh, I can't. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay. So the whole data set that you have in this file comes with a name and all these different names. But if you look at it, the data is the name for this. So that's the Excel feature which Microsoft is utilizing when you do a export to Excel or save as Excel option. Now in this data, if you are a Excel geek, which know how to use it, I'm not. So I'm just going to do a simple pivot table into it. And I'm going to say, okay, I would like to see customer numbers on my rows. And then I would like to see customer balance and customer balance sum. As simple as that. And assume that this is my layout that I want to build. And I save this file, and this file is called customer list. Okay, let's save this. Now come here and say, I would like to create a new layout and then call it as test. Choose Excel, choose your file, which in my case is in downloads. Let me choose that. I just choose that. And that file will get added in this section for test. Now, because this is not coming from an extension, the extension name is blank. But remember, you can add it into your extension if needed. Okay. So if you are a developer and you're working on a report, you can surely add the path, place that file into your extension, and then add it like any RDLC report or any Word report that you do. So that's same. Once you have defined it, if you now try to run the customer list report, and surely you don't run it from here, what you see here that this is also part of the same release where Microsoft added this option to report layout. So now you can choose which layout you want. Every user can choose. The default that is selected is based on this page. If you haven't paid attention to it, let me show it to you. This Boolean, if I want this to be default, I'll select this and then set it to default. But this is set to default. And now when I run this, I can, and user can, from anywhere where this report is attached, choose this layout. But this time, I would only like to run it for 10,000 and let's say 20,000. Oh, this is the problem with it. Okay. I'm only running it for two customers. On the Excel report, you don't see an option of preview because that's how the Excel layout works. And you do the download. Once you do the download, because you build your pivot table based on your named sheet, as you do enable editing, it'll refresh and it'll only show you the data that is generated based on the current filters. Okay. Now, as I said, I'm not a geek into Excel. So I'll surely show someone, a customer who will ask me to build something like this. And Microsoft saw that people are not utilizing the Excel report to their fullest. So what they did this in this release, they come up with a separate extension for Excel layout. As of today, there are only, if I'm not wrong, 8 reports that are available into it. But the promise going forward is there will be 35 kind of suggestions from Microsoft of how you do that. In that, they have added those reports into, let me be very correct on it if I can, I guess the business manager role center. So you can surely search for those reports. Those all reports are searchable, or you can place that action in any other role center page where customer would like to see it. But they made seriously very beautiful reports out of this. And that's why I said I'm not an Excel geek. Somebody who knows Excel, like how Microsoft has shown it on these reports, it's so useful for our customers. So let's see. I'm pretty sure I'm on the wrong one. So let's search it. While you're searching it, all these reports are still in preview. Microsoft is saying that we'll make some changes going forward. So if you search for reports in report area with the word preview, you will see all these 8 reports which Microsoft made for our to show the power of the Excel layout. Which one seems a most used report? Anybody? And I'm not a person from finance, so I don't know. Which one of these seems so critical to our
Trial
customers?
balance.
Trial balance.
Or is account receivable payable?
APR,
Whichever.
yeah, receivables and
Okay, let's see both. So when you do trial balance Excel, it works in the same way. You can filter out things and all, and you do download. Now the beauty is, it is doing the same thing which I showed you, but they are taking it to another level because they know Excel. And I'm pretty sure our accountants at our customer end or users at our customer end are more smarter than us when it comes down to Excel. And there is no data into this, I guess, at this point. Let me see.
This
Okay.
feature is
This will
awesome,
get refreshed.
actually.
This will
I
get
I
refreshed. Yeah. Sorry.
I
Yeah.
already know some use cases, and yeah, this feature is awesome, like for accounting and for controlling, like for analysis. That's
The
really
basically
cool.
killing jet reports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I would say we be the person who build the data set for them on a report, because this does not require a layout. It's just a plain simple data set of a report based on from where they want the data, and then let our users be creative into building these fancy layouts where they can surely build filters. I know how to build filters for sure, or different things that they can do here. And if you look at it, there are different tabs that Microsoft have created, and these surely are the data tabs which they are utilizing. So you can do a lot if you let your users define how they would like to visualize their data rather than being an expert in report development. Okay. Somebody said AR or AP, which one makes sense? Payable or receivable? Let's say receivable. I surely have not run it, but let's see. I'm pretty sure this would also be an interesting report. Hopefully it's not empty. Okay, let's do enable editing. Let's do enable content. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh yeah. So they did even these groupings at the Excel level. Okay, and as I said, I'm not an expert into all this, but people who live and breathe in Excel, for them, just giving them the raw data, which will be in one of these tabs. I'm not wrong. Hopefully that is not hidden, but let's see. Yes, they did hide some of the data. This is the source, and they are utilizing query, which is great because they are not just relying directly into the tables or the report. They are utilizing query to fetch this data, and this becomes your data that you're utilizing for the report. So they created this by local currency, foreign currencies, due based on different currencies, and caption. This is just for the viewing purposes, more or less. But all this is coming from BC, all these tabs, and these are the two tabs or three tabs that customer would have created for themselves. Now think about it from a user standpoint, and from a developer standpoint, it's just building the data set for them and giving them that data into Excel and let them be creative around it. So surely look into it because BC24 is out on prem also today sometime. I don't remember when it happened, but when you go into your on-prem product DVD, you will surely see a separate extension for report, not report layouts. I guess it's called report layouts. I don't know. Let's see. No, not this one. This is something else. Okay.
Excel reports.
Sorry, financial reports.
Excel reports. Excel reports.
For
Excel.
Excel
Okay.
reports. Yeah.
Yeah, because there is one financial report, which is for something else. So here it is. Okay. This is a little bit complex how they have built these reports. I have seen it from a Docker container in the preview versions. But that's just an idea because eventually when they are building it, they'll surely think from the performance perspective. So they surely have used a lot of things, not just plain Excel or sorry, plain report, but so this is how they are generating the customer top 10 list data. It is surely, it's a separate report. This is not utilizing the standard Microsoft customer top 10 list, but this is a completely new report for customer top 10 list. And the source for this is the table, which is seems to be a temporary table, the buffer table that's created, and they just add these columns into it. The request page is there, the number of record because it's top 10 is set to 10. And then as I was telling you, you can add a Excel layout like this into your report also. So if you notice here in the report layout Excel, there is a folder called customer, and there is this Excel source file that they are utilizing to build this report. So when a user creates a layout from the report layout page, that becomes a part of data. If you embed this report, once your customer builds it into your extension, then it'll just be part of extension and will not have any issues when customer upgrades or changes the version. But if you look at it just from a performance perspective, instead of doing a direct report, they are utilizing queries to get the data and then populating it into a temporary table, which is here. And then based on that, it kind of gets dumped into Excel when you run it. And then you see the beautiful Excel layouts. And to fetch the data, they're utilizing query. So it's not directly trying to fetch from the table. It's getting that data from utilizing the query. So it may sound a little bit complex into the code, but you don't have to do all this if you just want to create an Excel layout. You can just simply add an Excel layout to your report by just 3 set of steps. Build the data set of report. In the report, do set up this property of the layout of type Excel. Give it a path where you have already generated the layout and place it in your extension. And this is applicable to every report in the system, either Microsoft have it on Excel or not. I guess this idea of this extension came from that they don't see how less the community is using this feature, and they wanted to showcase the potential of this feature to our customers and to us. Use cases. I see a lot of by hearing some comments in the middle. Any questions on the Excel layouts or Excel reports?
No, it
No,
sounds
So
thanks for the explanation.
extensive. So we have been using queries for quite a long time now,
yeah,
and they are really performance wise, they're great.
yeah. And the beauty
And
is,
our customer, what we did for one of the customer was we just extracted the relevant columns of sales header and sales invoice line into a query,
Mhm,
gave him the report in Excel, and he
right.
drafted their own chart. So what you have done in the Excel, you can place multiple pivot chart, multiple bar charts,
Yeah,
whatever you want to put it over there, and they just come up. Even in the same sheet, they can
yeah.
do it.
Oh, wow. That's what I'm saying. We may not be the right people building those layouts because we are Business Central or NAV guys, but our customers are surely the people who live and breathe in Excel throughout the day. So they'll have better resources in hand to build these beautiful layouts. One more pro tip, which I use personally, and there's a video on the YouTube channel if you want to watch it later on the reporting playlist. If a customer tomorrow asks you for an export to Excel, or if a customer says, when I run this report, let's say, let's pick a report. Okay. Any report. Okay. Let's do this. Statement, let's say. Okay. 112001 till today. And let's do, oh, this is that report which does not, oh, print. Okay. Okay. Sorry, wrong choice.
Use a
Let's
simple trial
do,
balance report.
yeah, let's see if this, okay. Trial balance. Okay, yeah, let's do that. There is surely a request that I've heard so many times that, oh yeah, this report looks great. One report column. Which report column? What I'm missing here? Actual changes, comparison changes. Maybe this is what. Date filter. Okay. Make them mandatory, guys. Okay. Okay. So I've surely received this request that yes, all these reports look good, but when I kind of download this data into Excel, because that's where I live and breathe, it gets a little bit harder because of the merge column. Have you guys seen that when you do a send to Excel from the report? Like,
Yes.
right? Let's say Excel, this one, data layout. Now, what happens in these cases is customer is trying to analyze this data, which is especially this. He's not interested into all this because this makes it a little bit messier. If you zoom this in, let me try to do that. Because we use text boxes into headers and footers, what happens is they are not able to utilize this data. And that becomes a little bit tricky. So now when a customer asks me, instead of saying, I'll give you an export to Excel report, which was a typical scenario in NAV or even in the Business Central world, I copy the Microsoft RDLC layout, and in the RDLC layout, I delete the header section of it completely from the layout, and then save that as an additional layout in my report extension. Now I tell user that if you just want to analyze the data, then while running the report in your Business Central environment, pick the layout that is created for you, because now there is an option to pick the layout. So I have an additional layout for them here. And when they are doing analysis, they choose that and they only get the data that they need without the crazy header that gets created and make their life hell to analyze that data. And they just get the data that they need. So don't start building export to Excel because that's a pain. It's super slow. Excel buffer is super slow for obvious reasons. If they just need their data in Excel of a report that is already available, add an additional layout by just doing a report extension. And for their simplicity, remove the header or footer if there are any, because they mess up the Excel output that is generated out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to see it, doesn't understand from this conversation, surely go into the YouTube channel, into the report playlist. There is a specific video which talks about this. Okay, so let's quickly talk about tooltip changes. It's a small one, but it's pretty interesting or pretty confusing, to be very fair, for us going forward. Is for all these years, when Business Central was announced, Microsoft said that, guys, there will be a warning or an error if you don't define the tooltip on a page. We all have heard it or seen this as a warning here. What Microsoft understood, and there are two reasons for it, which I can analyze, that for a table, which is this table, there can be multiple pages created for it. And the person who is creating the page either does not know what are the tooltips used on the other pages that he or she have created, or becomes creative and start giving the tooltip a unique or a unique name to it. The problem with that, especially in this release where AI becomes so relevant, what happens now that on the tooltips of these pages, there's this button called Ask Copilot. And the Copilot will respond it based on the tooltip that you have written here, which is this. So when you do Ask Copilot, and this is one of the feature, which is the Copilot chat in Business Central, it'll start understanding what you have written in the tooltip, and then we'll search the Microsoft libraries on MSDN to understand what this field with this tooltip kind of make, and then response to customer that in Business Central a name is something like this, and so on and so forth. And then it gives you a reference from where it picked it from, which is from the Microsoft Learn portal. So now in this whole AI world, the tooltips are becoming more and more relevant. The other problem is because there are more and more pages associated with the same table, there can be contradicting tooltip associated with different pages. So in this release, it's not a mandate at this point, but Microsoft announced that you can have tooltip at the table level. If you don't define a tooltip at the page level, the table level tooltip will take the precedence. But if for a field you have defined a tooltip on the page, then it'll take the priority. Now, there is one thing which I did not like, or two things which I did not like. Let me remove this for a while, and I'll explain you why I don't like this at this moment. Microsoft did understood that our partners have done a lot of work for our customers, and moving all this to tables will be a nightmare. So they did try to help us, but it did not kind of become the help that I was expecting it. It says convert page control tooltip to table field tooltip, which makes sense. Remove it from here, and move it to the table. For the first time when I was clicking on it, I thought, okay, I'll click on it, everything goes to table and I don't have to worry about it. But no, it does it per field, which is a lot of work. Moving it from pages to tables, it's a lot of work. So I hope Microsoft somehow, or at least the AZL extension, builds up a single command, as there are many, to move tooltip. Like AZL have these to set this up. Hopefully there is one which allows you going forward to convert all these tooltips from pages and move them into the table automatically, which is not available as of today. What Microsoft article very clearly says that this will become a warning if tooltips are not available on the tables starting next version, as far as I have remember reading about it. So go ahead and or maybe wait. Hopefully there is a better way of moving all these from pages to the tables. But when you think it from Microsoft perspective, they are continuously trying to make pages lighter and lighter. The first impact was with the whole promoted action ref concept, where actions now not need to be so confusing, because now if you look at it, when we added this action in the past version, there would be 5 new properties of image, promoted category, promoted as big, and so on and so forth. They eliminated that clutter by just adding this action ref. So now if you want to promote an action, you just do action ref and it gets promoted on your page. On the similar line, it seems they're working on to do a little bit cleanup here, where pages are not with so many info on each field level, and whatever makes sense goes into the table, so that it doesn't become confusing either for the developer or for the customer or for the AI to get contradicting tooltips from different areas. Thoughts, questions? Okay, let's quickly try to tackle this. Instruction text, not a big thing. Somehow you surely would have seen these different website where there is a instruction written on the field where you have to key in the value. Like if you have to enter, let's say, PAN number somewhere, it gives you a sample of what kind of value you want to add. So as of this release and going forward for sure, there's a new property added which only works with the text fields, only text type field, where you can define an instruction text on that field so that user sees an instruction when he or she is trying to enter a value. Does that make sense, or should I have to show it? If I have to, that I don't think that's a problem. Let's try to see if I can do it on an existing field or not, because I haven't tried it yet. Okay, let's try to do it on modify description. Can I do that? Oh, sorry, address. Okay, and let's try to do the instruction text, which is add customer address in this field. Okay, let's try to publish this and see what happens. Now this especially comes into the areas where it's a little bit confusing. What is that you are expecting from your customer to enter on that field when they are seeing a field? So that'll help with the instruction of what kind of values you are expecting there. Hopefully that's the intent. Let's see what happens on the customer card. Okay, it's taking a lot of time. Let me see on the other window if it runs a little bit faster there or not. Okay, let's try this here. Might have been refreshed already. So when I'm on address field, and hopefully there is no address at this point. That's an assumption. But there is one. So let's remove this. Oh, why I cannot remove this? Let's try to create a new one. Contact person. Okay. As soon as you do that, this kind of shows you here what you are expecting customer to fill in on this field. That can be a sample phone number of how many digits you want or a text that you want to add. At this moment, it only works with the text field. You can't do it on an integer or a numeric or other fields that are available into the system at this moment. Okay, this will kind of hide itself or gets removed when I start entering. So that's one of the things that was available with the latest release. Let's go back and see what else. Multiple extension on the same app, and I don't think we have time for it, so because it'll take a lot of time because it's a little bit complex, so we'll talk about it later in the next meeting most probably. But let's talk about the Microsoft App Source app. Now Microsoft, or in their release video, has explained that in the extension management, when you go here and if you are on Business Central SaaS, you typically go into this area and say go to extension marketplace, which then pops up this more or less control add-in or a web page which is embedded inside Business Central, which will let you choose extension that you want to install. April this year, this page has been deprecated, and going forward in Business Central future releases, you'll not be able to see this page. So to kind of make it a little bit easier for partners and for sure our customers, Microsoft is using API by creating a new page called Microsoft App Source Apps. Now this page works on API. Whenever you try to open it, it checks whatever the last time it was loaded and then goes back to App Source and try to fetch any new info after the last fetched time based on your tenant or your environment, and then populates this list if something has changed. Now this lists down all the extension which are related to Business Central available on the app source. It's just a list page. It lists down what is the extension name, who is publishing it, is it installed in your environment or not, what is its popularity based on the feedback that it has received on the app source, what is its average rating on the app source, and how many ratings bring this rating, and when this was last updated. So now you can utilize this page to identify which of these extension that you want. You see one from Eric here, and Sweet Engine, Dehe Consulting, an Indian partner, already on 5 rating with two ratings into it. And then you can just click on it, and within the client you will be able to see all the details related to it which are fetched from app source, like the description, the publisher, the display name and all, the popularity rating and all. If you want to see the pricing, those options are not yet available on this page. For that, you can still go to app source if needed and open up that page and see other details. But I'm pretty sure those elements will also come into this. And if needed, you can directly hit the install from here and it'll get installed on your tenant. The beauty is that I hope going forward there is another field that which area it caters. Because remember, we have this feature called analyze. So now you can actually analyze this data because it's kind of stored in a table, and then do pivot on different things. Maybe if you want to analyze based on which are the different publisher and how many apps they have. So now you can see that which are the different app source app publishers are there and how many apps they have. So like Eric have 5 apps. You can see all of them here, their average rating, and you can slice and dice this data based on different parameters. Like they have 34 apps. Okay, that seems a lot. But they have 34 apps available in App Stores, and that kind of gives you a way to analyze it based on the rating, based on the popularity, based on uh, number of reviews that has been received. So it becomes a little bit easier to choose your apps rather than going into App Stores and then trying to find the app that you're looking for. This will become the only way going forward that you can install apps, or not install apps, but see app list in your Business Central environment, because that old page is deprecated now and will not be available going forward. Thoughts, questions on it?
Saurav, Nitin here. I have a quick question.
Anything? Yeah.
So yeah, so normally like the admin center will have this all option, which one you need to really install, what is available for your environment, and you upgrade from there. So I'm not sure if they will be like introducing such a feature inside Business Central, meaning admin anyway. A lot of activity goes in admin center, but here I was thinking it could be more useful if it shows you if you are behind a new version or something like that, what is the latest available, and upgrade right here in this screen.
So this is for net new extension that you're looking for, and the reason behind it is the installation of extension surely will come with the permission who can open this page and all. But as when it comes down to is the update available, and should you be able to upgrade it, there are certain permissions that you need to do that, and they are not part of the Business Central permission. They are part of the admin center permissions. So it's kind of office permissions that you have, or what is that permission? Global administrator, right? Who can do certain things into your Business Central tenant. If, and I guess that's, and I'm just assuming it, the reason why they didn't bring it inside Business Central is because then everybody who can get a permission in their tenant will be able to update the apps, which is not suggested. Because till the point you are doing it on Sandbox and updating your apps, great. But you start doing it in a production and then there is a dependency which is not updated. It gets a little bit trickier, because when you go into Admin Center, and let's go there at this moment, I'm pretty sure um, I'll have some apps in one of my environment which will need an update, right? Now, if I allow everyone to do that in my company, then it becomes a little bit risky, where people can just come here, click a button and update it, because it's not related just to the minor and major releases. Sometime you'll notice, and surprisingly I have everything up to date, but sometime you'll notice that ISVs and Microsoft will release updates in the middle of the cumulative updates also, whenever there's something
Yep.
changes. And that should remain with the global administrator, or now there is a new role for that, Business Central administrator, who knows how to do it, when to do it, right? So if I see a update available for base application as a user, and I know, yeah, this is important, I should not be running that during my working hour where my team is working on it. That makes no sense. But expecting that even from a super user sometimes becomes tricky. And that's the reason, I guess, that they did not bring that inside Business Central. And they want you to kind of be the global administrator who can then do things into it. And this was built because there were the old feature was being deprecated and they wanted to build something. So they built this so that you then will be able to utilize this from as a replacement of the old thing going away.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else, anyone?
Have you used this button, the new button,
Which
the new icon
which
for Copilot?
I have. It's a little bit tricky, and that's why I'm not talking about it in this meeting, because I don't want to kind of say something wrong. I'm still trying to. I know what this page look like, what it's trying to do, but I
Not
just
this one.
wanted to. Yeah, which one?
On the alongside the environment name.
Oh yeah, so that's
No,
the
not
chat
here.
feature, right?
No, you go and yeah, on the main screen it goes. Your images are coming with a lag. So environment business central 24. There's a, after that there's an icon.
Yeah.
So if you click on this, and it will ask, show me the latest invoices or something. It will actually go and find those invoices and show you.
Yeah, so here are those options which are built in, right? Which is a
Yeah,
prompt guide, and I'm surely going to talk about all of these maybe in a separate session, because it all starts with the new page type and how you can even add these actions. And yeah, as in you can surely utilize them here, but you can look up latest invoice and then you'll start searching for it.
yeah,
And these prompts are built in. So surely we'll talk about it if once I kind of bake in everything which is available from Microsoft and I don't say anything completely incorrect to it. I'm a little bit surprised because the only video that I saw from Microsoft, it says we are not utilizing your data to train the model, which makes sense. But then how Microsoft is able to identify this? So I'll have to kind of go into the code, understand how they're doing it before I make any comment into it. But surely it's super interesting how it all kind of getting baked together. But I'll surely get into the code and then we'll surely discuss all this in detail, maybe in one of
sure.
these meetings.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, anyone? Okay, so thank you for your time in that case, and then I'll see you next week. Hopefully,
Yeah.
same time.
Just
Not
one more
hopefully.
question
Thank you.
for you.
Yes, sir.
Why are these meetings scheduled on Friday and not Saturday, as we have done in the
Because
past?
so for two reasons, I have some appointments on Saturdays for a while, and that's the reason I was not able to restart. And then when I did a survey, online survey, the majority of vote came for Friday because Saturday was not an option. But maybe give me 2 3 months once I'm done with those appointments that I have, and then we may shift it back to Saturday if that makes sense to everybody. That's not a problem. I know this is not the right time to have a meeting, especially on a
Um,
Friday night.
Not only that, I'm working in for some of the customers in US region,
Oh, yeah,
so
and
that
it's a
conflicts
daytime
with
for
the
them.
meeting.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
I'm in
But
US season. I'm in US season too. Like it is like this time works for me because early in the morning on Friday is a little bit quieter.
okay.
Weekends works too.
It
Yeah.
works for me as well. Like evening in Germany, so it's good. I like Friday.
No,
So we can maybe
okay, yeah,
switch them around one quarter maybe Saturday, other quarter maybe Fridays.
sure, that's not a problem. We will do that. Whatever works for everybody, I guess that's what we'll do. Um, yeah. So let's see as we move forward. Once my personal commitments, whatever I have on Saturdays are over, I'll surely raise that question again, and we all can decide whatever works for us. Maybe we do a poll on one of those meeting and decide how we want to proceed. It's your meeting, guys. You decide whenever you want to have it. If I'm available during that time, I'll surely be happy to do that. So no problems on that.
Fine.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Saurabh.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Saurabh.
man.
Session was
Thank you
great.
all.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Okay. Okay, so if you're still here and if I said something wrong, let me know. And you know the drill. Okay. If you want to join this meeting, either send me an email or join one of these meetings. The link kind of gets updated. This is the link where you can go and register for the upcoming meeting. If I said something wrong, add it into the comment section. If you have any thoughts about this session, again, add it into the comment section. And I'll see you next week with the same meeting once it happens on the next Friday, right? Okay. So see you then. Until then, keep learning and keep sharing. Thanks.